Now, a message from the UN.
Times have changed, the band is strange. Here we are doing cocaine. Brian, we're doing blow. You could be right, you could be wrong. The bag's so big and the line so long. Brian, we're doing blow. Your friend gave us a record deal in a big old fat advance. We told us to invest in stocks, but we did blow with our fans. We played the show, we sold it out. We met a guy and we bought an ounce.
We're sorry.
Brian, we're using blow.
We need help. Help us.
Schwartz, we're doing cocaine.
Let's start the show, baby.
That's fine. Okay.
All right, and we're back. Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast. Yes. Gem and Jam Festival Installation Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. I'm excited to go to Gem and Jam.
I am. I think I'm going to go and hang.
You should come.
Little Nick vacation.
But you're gonna have to sleep with Bo.
Nope,
I'm not
I'll-
paying for your own hotel
I'm going
room.
to get my own hotel room.
Nope, unacceptable.
I like how you won't let me buy my own hotel room.
If you're my guest, you're not paying for shit.
Maybe he can put me on the list.
No, but we already negotiated.
I'm going to
it.
have
We
Phil
already-
Salvaggio put me.
No. I talked to Phil too. He said there's only a certain amount of hotel rooms. That
Phil said
they're
if I
gonna
interview,
allocate.
if I go around and do some content for them, he'll give me a free pass.
Oh well.
You know, he didn't say
Well-
that.
Got a couch for you to crash on somewhere?
Yeah,
I love it. Josh Pollack. We got one of the partners of Gem and Jam opening up the show with us. Josh, how we doing?
Howdy, partner.
Howdy, partner. How we doing? Y'all ready for this festival out here in Arizona?
Howdy. Doing great. We're stoked. Coming to you from cloudy Portland, Oregon right now, but stoked to get down to the desert. It's going to be nice and sunny, warm.
I know.
Get out of these, winter blues.
Arizona is really like February in Arizona is the best
Yeah.
because it's not so cold because you're in the desert.
Yeah.
But it's also it reminds me of like LA weather, like 7 degrees, it's like nice, right? Or does it get cold down there?
It gets cold at night.
Yeah.
For sure, because you are in the high desert. But, you still get those immaculate days, just sunny, clear, warm. Yeah, 70s. But then it definitely gets a tad nipply at night. So definitely come prepared with your layers.
Bring a sweatshirt. We'll be there all weekend. We'll be talking shit, hanging out. We're really excited. We have LP Giobbi on the show. She's
Hell yeah.
awesome.
She's
Have you
great.
heard her, Josh, yet?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, she's
yeah.
from Eugene. I
Yeah.
forgot. She's an Oregon girl.
Yeah.
She's badass. I mean, the whole the lineup is great. We have
Thank you.
John Barber
Thank you.
on the show. We just interviewed him yesterday. He's excited.
Saw
He's
that.
hanging out all weekend. And we're all very curious of what's your fascination with gems? Why is it a gem festival? What is gem?
link here?
Yeah, what's the link here with the gems?
It's a great question. So this festival coincides with the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show, which is the biggest gem and mineral show in the world. And it happens in Tucson. It's been happening there forever. People from all over the world come with, their family mine or whatever they're hawking. But it's a really big deal in the gem, mineral, fossil, jewelry community. And the festival actually started as like a late night option because all these folks would come in for the gem mineral show. And obviously there's a lot of crossover with the music community and the gem community.
Yeah.
And there was never anything happening after the gem shows. People would come in, they'd do the show, it's so spread out. There's hotels that basically every single room is a different person who has their own offerings. So like you go to these hotels and every single room is like a different little exposition. So there's never anything like going on beyond that. So Gem and Jam actually like was founded as this like after party thing. So it started as like basically club shows in Tucson and kind of bounced around venues in Tucson. And it was never like a full on camping festival. And then we kind of like started that in 2013 and moved to a bigger venue, multiple stages, we're able to do camping. And then the festival kind of morphed into its own standalone event where people would come to the festival just for Gem and Jam, and maybe go into town for the Tucson Gem Show. But we kind of try to bring that vibe into the festival. So we are actually one of the like official shows of the Tucson Gem Show. So that's pretty cool. So we kind of just started like that, and that's where the connection came from. And it's kind of a cool aesthetic.
Yeah, everyone says it's like real fucking hippie, real cool. It has like a real original vibe to it, which is exciting.
Yeah, it's nice.
So come on now, it's the first weekend of February, Gem and Jam Festival. It's Tucson, Phoenix and Tucson.
It's basically a suburb of Phoenix, right?
Yeah, and it's so there's a hub there. So if you're going from out of town, and you could fly there for pretty cheap too. So it's a cheap flight to Phoenix, and then from Phoenix to Tucson, like
fly to Tucson.
Or just fly to Tucson, yeah.
Yeah.
How far is
it's like an hour drive from Phoenix, fly to Phoenix or Tucson.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So come on out. Your boy, the Frasco band's playing. We got Disco Biscuits.
What night are you playing?
I think Saturday or Sunday.
Sunday?
Is it Friday?
Yeah, you're playing right before Lettuce.
Let's go.
Oh, is it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the festival?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. But we're coming in a couple days early because we just want to hang out.
Right before Lettuce.
I like it. I like the competition.
It's not a competition, actually.
It is a fucking competition.
You're two friends.
No, it is a competition. Right, well, we're here to fucking go after them.
Team Lettuce over here.
I know. We know that, buddy.
I like
we
horns.
know that. You love
I like
funk.
horns.
I get it.
You have horns.
I have horns, too.
I do like the funk music, though.
Well, Josh, we're really excited. I can't wait to meet you in person. Stay warm out there. We got 2 more weeks, and then we all get to hang out in the sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
And whatever you need from me. But go to Gem and Jam Festival. Where can they buy tickets to the fest? If they're
go to gemandjam.com.
Let's go, baby.
That's pretty easy.
We're excited. Josh, thanks for being on the show, and I can't wait to meet you guys, and thanks for supporting the podcast. You guys are the shit.
Oh, yeah.
Likewise. Thank you both.
Have a good one, bud. Thank you. Thanks for coming on.
Word.
Show.
Fuck yeah. We're excited. I'm excited, bud. Are you excited?
I'm so excited that I just can't hide it. I'm going. I want to see Lettuce.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait. We got
LP
Giobbi.
Right before Lettuce. Get something to eat. Go for a walk right before Lettuce. Then go see
Arizona
Lettuce.
has bomb-ass food.
It does?
Yes. Phoenix is popping off. Tucson's popping off. I love it. But we have LP Giobbi on the show. You're going to love her. She's one of the
A ray of light.
ray of light. That was amazing. And she's going through a mental thing right now, and she was optimistic.
When you're that talented, it's hard not to be optimistic, huh?
I mean, being a DJ is a lot harder than being in a band because
it's 2 different kinds of hard.
Yeah. Because like they're flying at 5 a.m.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
But they could route their tours like a band. I don't understand what's stopping them from that.
But Chris, play some LP Giobbi while we pimp her out of hair. She's amazing. She did a remix for Taylor Swift. The Garcias, Grateful Dead. The Garcia family called her and asked her to remix Jerry Garcia's first record, and she's the music brand ambassador for the W Hotel. She's working.
Wow.
She's working. And she's a classical piano player. You're going to love her. So enjoy this LP Giobbi episode for the podcast. Yeah, she's balling. She didn't want to talk about how much money she was making.
I know.
She thought she was making a little money.
You can tell when people are rich when they
I would ask Josh how much the offer was, but that's rude to talk about. You don't have to tell us,
we'll
Josh.
Bleep it out.
We'll bleep it out. We'll bleep it out. So you're going to enjoy this. Head to Gem and Jam. We got one more episode for the Gem and Jam installment. And that's John Barber, round 2.
Hell yeah.
And he talks at the nitty gritty with the Disco Biscuits. And then, you've been having, and come to our show, January 26th, the Ogden Theater. We are almost sold out. From last week, we got a couple more 100 more tickets sold.
I'll be there.
So we're on path, baby. Let's sell it out. We got 1 more week left, people. The time is now.
We'll do a meet and greet at Set
Don't
Break.
be cheap, Denver. And it's more expensive at the door. Just remember that, Denver. It's more expensive at the door.
You don't have to yell. You have a microphone.
I know. Sorry. Okay.
I yell all the time.
All right, guys. Enjoy LP and go to Gem and Jam. We love you.
Bye. Yeah.
How we doing, Leah? We're just gossiping away. How you doing, bud?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, rolling into trying to ease into the new year instead of one of those. I'm not one of. I used to be one of those people who's like, net new year, like new me, I'm gonna do everything different. I've been like, let's just enjoy your life a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Right. I mean, you've had
Easy.
quite a fucking year this year, bud.
I have, yeah, I have.
I mean,
I have put my career above all else, including my health. So I'm trying to find a balance and enjoy the fruits of my labors. But yes, I feel very grateful for this last year.
isn't it hard to say no when there's like also like you've been fighting for a dream for so long, and all of a sudden you get all this money that starts coming your way? You're like, fuck, I don't want to say no.
You must be an artist. You must get it, dude. I've had to tell this year we worked. I was like, I need a few breaks. Probably like need like 2 breaks. I mean, I was home like 7 days last year.
Yeah, no.
And I was like on the road touring the rest of them. And I finally was like, I'm going to burn out. Like we need some breaks. And we like scheduled those in my calendar, and then, offers started rolling in. He said no. And then they did the power of saying no. They just come back with more.
Yeah, right.
And I've had to tell my team, like, listen, I'm never going to say no. So I need you to force me to say no. Like this is because yes, you struggle and you fight. Like I'm like DJing in hotels and like just like trying, every single day grinding, trying to make it work. And then it just feels so crazy to say no to people wanting to pay you to come and play. It's just so hard.
Right.
To money you probably like couldn't dream of 10 years ago,
Totally.
Yeah.
Literally not in a million. I mean, my mom worked for a public radio station my whole life, part-time. Like I couldn't have ever dreamed of this. It's like, yeah. So it just feels it almost feels irresponsible to say no, because
you're like, I want to retire.
You never know how long this is going to last. And like, I want to have savings and 401k and I want to be able to retire. And
the guilt
but
to
also,
me. Yeah. It's like, you feel guilty.
You feel so guilty.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I've just gotten to a point where my body has forced my hand. So like health as well. So I keep having to be like, health as well. Like you can't do Milan, Rome, and LA in the exact same day.
Yeah.
Like you technically could, because you're going back in time.
Change,
Sunrise set, and I've just been like, I just have to.
Yeah, what was the moment?
It's hard.
What was the moment? Where were you when you felt like I gotta take a step back for a second?
It's a good question. It was a very real moment. I was starting to feel a bunch of brain fog, which to me is like the worst. Like I love the feeling of being sharp and on, and I love feeling like I have a million things going and too much, and like that sort of feeds me and fuels me. And my brain was getting foggier and foggier, and I felt like when I would look at a computer screen or would look at an Ableton session, like my brain was like want a little bit. And that would kind of go in and out, and then it started just getting sort of perpetually like anytime I opened Ableton, it looked like that, or tried to even send an email. And so I finally went and got some blood work done. And my doctor, I was like had a follow-up appointment, and before I even got to that appointment, he called me and this is like I have a Sophie Tucker turned me on to this doctor. He helps touring artists and like sort of people in high pressure situations who need to work with their
blood pressure and stuff.
Not blood pressure, but
like what's in your
adrenaline,
blood.
things like that. So this guy specializes in like touring, people who do what I do.
Yeah.
And he calls me. He's like, "Are you sitting down?" Because I checked your cortisol, which was like when you're based on what you were telling me.
Right.
I was worried about burnout is actually a physical thing. And it's where your stress hormone doesn't know when to turn off. Your body's always sort of like, oh, in that state.
Yeah.
And a normal cortisol level is 4. A high one would be 15. And that would be like, okay, alarming. We need to start working on this. Yours is 40. And I've never in my life seen a number like that. And I don't know how you're even getting out of bed, because then
inflammation, right? Doesn't
my inflammation, and also my cortisol, in order to keep making more cortisol, has stolen all my hormones. And so I have 0 hormones, which regulate so much in your system. And I was like, he was like, when was the last time you had a period? I mean, this is maybe TMI. And I was like, I don't remember. He's like, yeah, that is, so, and then like I ate my stomach lining. So I have a bunch of inflammation, and it just snowballed into all these, like, he's like, I checked all these other levels because of that. And,
were you feeling it? Did you feel the stomach? Like,
the stomach. So I've always like, I kind of just like, yeah, my stomach hurts, and you just keep going, you move on.
Yeah.
Like I had some like actually I had colitis for when I was like in middle school, so I've always had sort of stomach issues, and I just thought that was really normal.
Yeah, same.
And you know, it was and I think at the time it's obviously different than now what I'm experiencing, but yeah, I guess it's not normal to not be able to process your food properly all the time.
Right.
And yeah, so he was like, "What do you have coming up?" And I was like, "Well, I'm going to play in Scranton, Pennsylvania tomorrow, and then I'm supposed to fly from Scranton, Pennsylvania to Torino, Italy.
Right.
And then I'm there for 4 hours, and then I get back on a plane and I fly to Denver and play. And this is in 3 days." And he was like, "No,
I'm not doing
yeah,
that.
sorry,
Actually,
no." So I had to cancel the first time ever. I had to cancel 2 shows, the one in Italy and then one in Seattle. And man, it's so crazy because if I see another artist doing that for their health, I'm like, fuck yeah. But it felt humiliating. And
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I gotta work through this because that's not cool.
Why
to
do
be
we
like embarrassed.
Yeah. Why do we put so much pressure on ourselves and give everyone else slack for the same thing they're dealing with? You're dealing with.
Totally. And I mean, it is, I wish that I had better foresight in like, you know, preemptively saying no instead of, you know, people bought tickets, and you know, like that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But also shit happens and we're humans and we're not fucking machines.
Right.
And especially as a DJ, you know, they sort of can ping pong, you can be in a different continent every day and the time zones. And, you know, I asked my doctor, I was like, okay, what do we do to heal this? He's like, well, I mean, in an ideal situation, you would go to one place for 6 months and have, you know, go to bed by 10 p.m. every day, wake up at 6 a.m. every day, start regulating your system. And I was like, lol, like
What's plan
I was
B?
like, what's plan B here? Like, give me another. So I'm on like 1,000 supplements and it still isn't, I mean,
You still get brain
it's still
fog?
not great. I still have brain fog. It's been 6 months and it's fucking killing me. And I'm just trying to be patient. I'm like, I keep being like, okay, just take more breaks, be patient.
Right.
And I am not a patient person. That
Yeah.
is not one of my virtues. So
No. Where'd you get that
been
from?
brutal. My dad is pretty chill and patient. My mom's pretty high strung. So I would say her. God bless her. She's a doer.
You know, you're like talking about your adrenaline. Like, you ever just like, you're like, it's like you're so exhausted. It's 4 a.m. at a set. You just start crying.
Yes. All
I bet.
the time. My tour manager, I'm just like, man, more than my tour manager, he is my therapist. Like I've been like, he's seen me on airplanes sobbing. He's seen me, I'm just like, I can't do it. He'll be like, you can do this. Please get off the plane. Yeah. I mean, I always say the best drug is hitting play on a CDJ because like immediately you're just like, oh, you know, woo.
Yeah.
But it's the getting up and coming down that is, you know, it's hard. And I'm sleeping on airplanes a lot, which isn't like the best night's sleep. And the more I read about how sleep is tied to all health aspects, I'm just like, shit.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Yeah.
I'm like that too.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we do 250 shows a year, so we're like, we're on the move. Like, yeah, and I feel that the adrenaline thing, I can't come down, you know. But yours is a little different.
Wait, how do you do that? Tell me, how do you feel?
All I need is 4 or 5 hours of sleep and I'm good. But it's just
Shut
the
the fuck
5
up.
a.m. It's the waking up at 5 a.m. That's why the plane thing, I think you have a harder life because I could just sleep in the van. You have to wake up at 5.
Yeah, do the airport
thing. So your adrenaline's already up. And then like how much good sleep are you actually getting to get to the next city? You're not getting that much.
Dude, the airport, I've literally thought like, should I actually change? I mean, like, I love DJing. I love the craft of DJing. I love making it. I mean, it's part of what I love, but I'm just like, God, being in a band, like, and you know, shows are usually earlier in venues.
Yeah.
And you're like only able to move as fast as a car can take you. And like, I've just been like, should I just completely change the music I make so that I can not have to be on an airplane?
Yeah. Like,
which is insane. But it's all, I mean, traveling in general is just, it's so crazy because you're like, all I'm doing is sitting here. Why is this so tough? And then I beat myself up for that. So
have you ever had to check yourself for being too uptight?
Oh, are you kidding me? Daily. Yes. Oh my. I mean, it's funny because it's like the thing that propels me also holds me back in a lot of ways. Like, being, especially when I'm in the studio with somebody else, if I'm like in collaboration mode.
Yeah.
Yes, and just like letting it go and like letting, like in my head, I'm just like, oh my God, like he's like, especially if I'm not the one at the computer, for some reason, I'm just like, oh, like make sure like to unmute that, like, oh, make sure to move that back for, I'm just like, in my head. And so I'm just like, what's meant to be will be. Like, oh man, it would be beautiful to feel that way. But like, and I'm taking little notes.
Like, let me drive. I want to drive.
Yeah, totally.
I can't do that either when the other person's running the session and you just know it. It's so hard to explain what you want them to do instead of just like moving the thing for them. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
And like we all have our different workflows, right? Like maybe they want to change the automation and then move the thing. And
exactly.
Like, and so it's gonna be fine. And I am just that's the part where I need that definitely comes. And I'm just like, guys, I think I'm good at hiding it, but in my head I'm freaking out.
What about that same philosophy for like when you're improvising with piano and classically? How do you get out of your head that way?
That's a good question. I get out of my head by being obsessive about practicing, you know? So like, I know that I have like, if I know that I didn't practice as much as I should, then it's actually hard for me to let go. But if I feel like I did, I prepped for this the best I could, then it's a little bit easier for me to get out of my way. But I mean, I've reached flow state in like jamming and improvising.
Yeah.
It's harder for me to reach that. Like, I'm like observing myself doing it oftentimes, but the few times I have hit it have been the most euphoric moments ever. So it's like, I just keep sticking around, hope like, if I even have 2 or 3 more of those, it's worth it.
Yeah.
But I'm rarely, I'm present, but I'm not reaching the full like flow.
Yeah.
How hard is it to get the flow state DJing versus classic piano?
Oh, great question. There are definitely it's so interesting because I think flow state is easier to reach the more you've done or practiced something, right? Like I now have my arsenal, like I've organized things exactly how I like them. I've spent time, loop warping different acapellas and repitching them. So like I have this at my disposal, and like, the more I play with them, and then all of a sudden there's a few sets where like I just feel like I have somebody else telling me what to recall and where to put it and how to mix it and how, so when I play, I try to, if I have longer sets, I have like a CDJ that's for drum loops and one that's for maybe instrumental loops and acapellas.
Oh.
And then I can sort of weave them together how I'm feeling. And there have been a few sets where I felt like it was just coming, like they were all just coming to me. I think it's easier actually in DJing.
Do you run your instruments through, do you live sample yourself too and like loop stuff, or you do all that? Okay. Yeah.
My 4th CDJ is a DJS.
Okay.
So I run my keyboard through that. And then, let's say I have a few loops going and obviously the drums, whatever, doesn't matter. But the instruments and the acapella and a C minor or something, then I can play. I'll just like hold and play a C into the DJS, and then sequence that, and then use the scale mode to chop it up and play something in C minor.
That's interesting because that's like most people would use Ableton to do that live. You don't see do a lot of people run their instruments into CDJs like that? Or are you kind of unique?
So I would say a lot of people don't have instruments when they're
that's exactly I guess that's the point. Yeah.
There's not very many people that bring the keyboard when they're DJing, but that I actually found that I just have a USB stick and a shitty like Yamaha keyboard that I can get anywhere if it breaks or doesn't show up or something.
Right.
Because I run it through the sampler, which has a lot of effects. But because I was really like for a while, I don't know why I had an aversion to using a computer on stage for like, if it got too hot or let's say it broke or I just like didn't want to worry about that. But I just did my first tour where I pulled the CDJs and I used Ableton Live, and I had a few extra synths that were, the Ableton session was sending information to the synth, both the MIDI notes and also one to change synth
for like
pads.
arpeggios and stuff like that.
Yeah, and just to like change patches at certain times.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, which was like, that was a new, really fun discovery. When I discovered that, I was like, I don't have to like go in there and
it just does it for you. Anomaly does it. You ever check? You know that guy Anomaly?
No.
He's a producer from Montreal. He's real good with that kind of stuff. Like,
oh, cool.
Yeah. Mapping.
Yeah, I wanted to go in the direction of. Do you guys know Kink? Kink?
Yeah, kind of.
Like seeing his live show. I mean, it's all like just drum machines, and
that's insane.
He's just watching him, just physically. Like I could watch him on mute, and it would be interesting.
It's all hardware.
All hardware, and I mean, like what he's doing with drum patterns, just like and sequences, and that was mind blowing. Without Ableton or anything, but I finally did a tour with Ableton, and actually, I was playing New York, which was my biggest headline show to date. It was 4,000 people.
What
and
the fuck?
On the train to
Let's go!
Thank you. Well, just you wait. On the train from Boston to New York, our stuff was like when you get on a train, you put your shit there. Then you go sit down in your seat.
Yeah.
My computer was stolen.
Oh no!
And I obviously had a backup of the session, but I didn't have another
laptop
computer that could handle the set. Yeah, that could handle it. And I had an hour before the show. I mean, I had an hour until sound check.
Oh my god!
And so I deleted everything off my old computer to try to have enough space on it, enough memory and stuff. And it was doing this weird skipping thing though. It only happened a few times.
The CPU, it was probably the CPU couldn't handle it.
The CPU, that was exactly it. Yep. And it was devastating for me. So that's what I was like, this is why I didn't want a fucking computer.
I mean, hardware is can't really be hardware.
I should have had a second computer, but those are so fucking expensive. Yeah. I'm like, another $4,000 computer? I'm like, no, like it'll be fine.
That's like what Big Gigantic does. They have like an exact copy of what's running like off stage too as a backup in case it goes out.
And everybody said I should do that. And I was like, yes, if you want to fund that, no problem.
You got $3,000 on you?
Yeah. I love how everyone gives you ideas, but they're not paying for it.
Yeah, it's always
it's always like, you should get this $10,000 thing. All right, pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
I'm trying to get a tour bus.
This is the music business.
Yeah.
Yo, Leah, I have a couple questions about your growing up because you went to UC Berkeley, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you studied jazz piano.
Yeah.
So what was that conversation like with your parents? You're like, hey, Mom, I think I'm out and I'm going to be a DJ.
Okay, this is how fucking amazing my parents are. And like the older I get, the more artists I meet in the world. I'm just like, wait, that wasn't how your parents reacted. I'm so grateful for them. They're now at every show riding the rail. Like they didn't know about electronic music before I started playing. Oh my god,
of them at your show.
They are. They are riding. Like sometimes my mom will just be like, she's like kind of twirling, doing the twirling thing. I'm just like, that is my queen.
Hell yeah.
So when I went to college, I actually, I was in orchestra and band, and I was a band kid nerd growing up, and I was like, I'm gonna go to college and spread my wings, and like, I'll just do music for fun. Like I don't need to take courses or whatever. And I was at UC Berkeley and struggling to pick my major. My dad gave me the worst advice ever, which was he's like, you love school. You'll probably go get your master's. So your undergrad's whatever. Just take all the classes you like, and that's your major. So then I was like, well, I want to take some music classes. So I started. Myra Melford was there, and she's an incredible jazz musician. So I started, taking some like entry level classes with her, and then she was like, you want to audition for this program, and she was so inspiring to me that I did it. And then I just took so many music classes. I ended up as a music major, and then I graduated with out-of-state tuition debt up to my eyeballs. And I was like, Dad, that was literally the fucking worst advice you could have ever given me. He's like, yeah, maybe. Sorry about that.
I can't believe I went to one of the best schools in America and I got a degree in music.
I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? So that was eye-opening, but served me well. I at the time I was reading Bill Graham Presents. It was one of like kind of the first promoters to make promoting a thing. Yeah. And put on the Grateful Dead and stuff. So it was like the first time in a while that like my blood, like I got excited reading this book, and I found out that Greg Perloff, who took over Bill Graham's company when he passed away, their office, Another Planet's office, was right down the street from my apartment in Berkeley.
Oh.
So I wrote a letter as to why they should hire me. This was actually also my dad's idea. And I went down there and I pretended like I had a meeting with the CEO, with Greg. And they let me in because I was really confident. And they saw I was some like 19-year-old girl. And they're like, and luckily he came out of his office right then. I was able to hand him this letter. I was like, here's why you should hire me. And he's like, I don't know if I should call the cops or if I should read this. And I was like, I think you should read this. And so I started interning there. And
it worked.
You know,
You fell in love with the music industry then?
Fell in love. That's a great question. I learned a lot. I loved everybody on the planet. And I learned what a manager is, and I learned what a promoter is. And that was a really important education. I'm still so shocked about how many artists I meet on the road who they're playing a show and they don't know who the promoter of the show is.
Yeah.
You know, they maybe don't even have a relationship with their agent.
Right.
It's so, I guess for me, it feels really empowering to know those things.
Yeah. Same.
When you ask me about like, do I have, when I come home and have a break, I'm also W's global music director.
Yeah.
And so I'm,
W
oftentimes
Hotels,
I'm like,
right?
yes,
You're
yeah.
fucking crazy,
So
dude. You have so many
I have
gigs.
like 9 a.m. calls with Australia all the time, things like, so that's usually why I don't actually get to a break. But I really like, as an artist, I feel more like a commodity. And so I really like having a seat at the industry table and being able to,
same.
put on my friends, artists who I believe in and love, and, spend some brand money on them and put some food in their pockets.
Yeah.
So, and then I also run a nonprofit that teaches women how to produce music.
House?
Yeah, Femme House. Yes.
Femme House.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Look at you doing your research
I'll
out
tell
here.
you, Queen, I'm here. I'm prepared for this one. But Leah, like,
Very impressed.
maybe the control thing. Let's go back to
You're
that.
starting to sound like my therapist. At the end of the last session, she was like, this all feels like it's about control. And I was like, yeah, I mean,
That's what makes you happy,
possibly.
though. So it's like, it's kind of hard to like balance
the thing is,
happiness.
Like, they all feed the ecosystem. And also the thing that actually, like, I get so sick of myself. I'm fucking sick of talking about myself. I'm sick of seeing myself. I'm sick of like my entire, there's so much about how in order to be happy, it's like contribution to society or, helping other people. And like that and I just feel like so much of my job is me focused, that's not healthy. And something that I found that is like, that really does keep me going and is a why and keeps me motivated is Femme House, is meeting these other powerful, amazing female or gender expansive identified creators. And just getting to say, you can do this, like, you can do this, keep going. Like that brings me more energy than anything else I do. So I just can't give it up.
But also, like, I think you're overthinking that too. Like, you're doing things that are so selfless with Femme House and with W Hotel. You said you're helping your friends get branding gigs. That's not about you.
It makes me feel good though. So you have it's still about me, but yes, I think there's a bigger, I can rest at night knowing that that's really my reason, but that it definitely is, it's a nice escape from just like the LP Giobbi world.
Yeah.
And it is awesome to support artists that you believe in.
Totally. I mean, like, it must've been like, what did you tell your parents are deadheads? What did you tell your parents when you said you're going to do this dead project?
Oh yeah.
They probably flipped shit.
My parents were just, when I told them I was going to leave this job and go pursue, that was, steady. And I was able to pay off some college loans and to pursue music. I called my dad and I was like, I'm really struggling. I had this opportunity to move down to LA and join this all-female electronic band. It was some of the guys from Daft Punk were putting it together, and I didn't know anything about electronic music. I barely knew who Daft Punk was.
Right.
So like that wasn't even that impressive to me. I was just like, what is a synth? What? But I called my dad and my dad was like, you don't have golden handcuffs. You don't have kids. You don't have a mortgage. You'll figure out a way to put food on the table. I have no doubt. I think you should leap. And like, that's how fucking awesome my parents are.
dope.
And then when I started getting into electronic music, to understand what their kid was doing, they too started, listening to Serious Chill. And
That's cool.
my mom actually called me recently. She's like, I wish that they would play more of your music on Serious Chill instead of Diplo's Revolution, because I had to sit through Diplo's Revolution. It's just a bunch of crap. And like, if you could just make more music on Chill, I'm like, Mom, I love you. But I brought my parents to a rave, and the first time they set foot on at the concert, it was like this big open field. And there was definitely an aha moment for both of us. Because my dad was like, oh, okay, if I was born now, I would be a raver instead of a hippie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would be, taking Molly instead of acid, but everything else is pretty similar.
It's very
there's
similar,
like this like
yeah.
peace, love, unity, kind of there's like a little weird uniform. There's the nonstop, like the Dead were called a dance band. It's
Yeah.
just
Right.
like nonstop dancing. And so they figured out a way to get into it. But then when I called them I got the phone call where Garcia's family asked if I wanted to remix, Jerry's first album. I literally was like, can I call you right back? And I had to hang up because I had to call my parents, and my mom I FaceTimed them, and she dropped to the floor, started sobbing.
I love it.
Just like couldn't, and at that point they knew a lot about remixes, and they knew what that meant.
Yeah.
And they just started sobbing. It's funny in hindsight because God, there's so many Deadheads that fucking hate me.
Oh,
and
yeah.
hate what
I was going to tell you. I was going to ask about
And I
that.
had to tell, and my that never really crossed their minds, which is funny because I sort of knew that would maybe be the case. Jam band fans they really feel like they know everything.
It's
so
interesting.
Bless their
annoying.
souls.
It's so fucking
It's the
annoying.
community that raised me, and it's the people that I'm just like, wait, the people that you're my people.
And it's an
though,
official
you're
remix.
shutting me.
No,
Yeah,
but like,
and
that
They
must have
asked
felt
you to
bad.
do it. Like,
Yeah, but
yeah, it felt so when we released it, and like that I had to be like, I was actually on my way when it came out. I was playing O2 Arena in London with Pete Tong. I was playing this like classical piano moment of the
Fucking
song
sick.
that we wrote together. And it should have been a really great moment. This thing is coming out, we're going to the O2, and my parents were with me. And I had to take my mom's phone and be like, you need to stop reading the comments. Like it's they're
fucking
the people
mean.
Are they are
Fucking
really
mean.
dude, they're really fucking mean. And there was a month where I was like, this was a massive mistake. But then I played a Dead House set in where was I? I think it was the first time I played in my hometown, Eugene. And afterwards, this dad, and luckily my parents were standing next to me so they could hear this. This dad and son came up to us, and they flew in from New York and LA to come to this set because the dad was like, I just have to let you know, like, full disclosure, we're a very dysfunctional family. My son is gay and a raver, and we just like don't see eye to eye on anything. There's nothing that we have in common. It's been a struggle. And I'm a deadhead and he is a raver. And this is the first hour that we spent to get 2 hours that we spent together that were joyous.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
thank you.
cool.
And I was just like, you don't know how much I need to hear this.
Oh my God.
The
Like,
haters aren't there
that
anyway.
Is everything to me. Because it's honestly, I started like weaving in Grateful Dead stems to like show my community who you'd be
Who you were.
like when I'm touring in Europe, nobody knows who the Dead is.
I know.
Nobody in my world does.
Right.
Which is isn't so crazy when I realize that these people, I'm like, wait, you like I'd be talking about the Grateful Dead, people would be like, oh, who? I'm like,
What?
like
The most important
What?
band of all
Yeah.
time?
so it's really just my way to be like, you like try to turn this band onto these people. But it's been an interesting journey.
How did that make you feel that the community that you grew up on, that you've always wanted to be accepted by, first was like, fuck this chick?
Yeah. Jerry's rolling in his grave. I got that so many times.
So fucking
No,
stupid.
he's
You know
not,
what?
by the way.
At first, I mean, I try to, for social media, I try to get in and get out because I don't think it's a healthy thing.
Right.
But there was one person who sent me the meanest DM I've ever received.
What?
And I was on a cruise it's like Groove Cruise or something. And so I was trapped on a boat and I was bored. And I just like, you know what? I'm going to engage with this person.
Oh my God.
So I just like kindly responded to all their points. The only person I ever responded to. And we actually went back and forth for like 3 months.
Whoa.
And he ended up, I was like, next time, I was like, where are you based out of? He's like, New York. I was like, I would love for you to come to one of my shows. It's not a Dead House show. Like, so you can see, like, this is not the thing is, this is a side project. This is not what I do. This was just like an honor to my family.
Yeah.
And he ended up coming, and we had, you know, he's like, this isn't for me, but I see what you do. And it ended up being a really,
and now they're married,
life learning thing. But yeah, it was really, I'm like, damn, this is, you know, I became a musician because of the Dead, because I saw how important live music was, like how important it was to come together in community and be a part of something greater than yourself, and to be shunned by those same people was, it was heartbreaking. But I guess you can't really have thin skin in this industry. So
it's like finding out Santa Claus doesn't exist.
And what's so funny is when I did a remix for Taylor Swift recently, and I thought, okay, here we go again, right? Wrong.
Her fans love it.
Taylor's okay. So first of all, the remix between us is I didn't even get to. It was not my best work. I gave them a demo. They decided they wanted to put it out right away. Like it wasn't even done. Whatever. That doesn't matter. The nicest fans in the world. Like they could, like the meanest thing somebody said was, this isn't for me, but I'm just like so pumped that you know, Taylor had another female produce a song.
That's
like
awesome.
That was the meanest thing said.
That's amazing.
And that was a real big, I'm like, wait, what? That was mind blowing to me, you know, because she's has an even wider net. And I thought, and these people are, you know, pledged allegiance to her.
Yeah.
And it was, so that was kind of, I still love the Dead community. Obviously, my parents are part of it. I think it's like the most incredible. What they built is the most incredible thing ever. Period.
Yeah.
But that was kind of
that would have
wild
scarred
to see.
me. No, fuck that. I'd be like, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all.
You just got to remember the minority of those people are. It's like a minority of those people, and they're just the loudest. The people that are hating are always the loudest.
I guess I just thought like Instagram, mostly though, you know, people are really nice on Instagram. That seems to be a nicer platform. So I was like, oh shit, whoa. But even, you know, I become good friends with the Goose guys, and after the first remix came out and I was being torched, I called Rick from Goose and I was like, dude, I am struggling. And he was like, oh man, what? Don't worry. Like, do you know how much we get torched by fish fans?
Oh,
like,
dude, they get fucking torched, dude.
I mean, he's like, dude, it's just part of it. I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? What's normalized? Like, this is so mean. But I mean, that kind of gave me a different perspective. Like,
these guys get torched.
Because
every
the jam band community, like, really, they really, really believe in what they love. They really believe in their band. They really believe in the music. And you have to appreciate that. Like, I had to step outside and be like, you know what? It's because you love this band so much, and good for you.
So it's fine.
Listen, John from Kansas, they called me.
Yeah.
Okay? Fucking asshole. Like totally like disregarded, like you're begging for the gig. They called you.
Jerry Garcia's family asked me to do this.
Totally. You know, I was like, shit, I guess I didn't really. Of course, there's going to be people who don't like dance music, but I think that people saw it as me like clawing on to
bullshit.
Yeah, it just like was a fun side project for me, and I do remixes for people. Also, the remix culture is so normalized where I come from. It's like, you know, release a song, you get a remix for it. That's so normal.
Yeah.
But I see that now that it wasn't for this community.
Well, the problem is they think it's sacred, the music, which I guess, like, you know, you could argue to some people it is, but like nothing's really sacred when it comes to remixes.
It's so sacred, so they're gonna let some mediocre cover band cover it, and they fucking lose their shit. No, fuck that bullshit.
Exactly.
It's all fucking.
Oh man, I fucking love you guys.
Yeah.
So who are you excited to see at Gem and Jam? Have you been to this festival before?
I haven't, and I'm really excited. I heard it's a blast because it's a mixture of like DJ and live, and I guess gems.
Okay, I was gonna say. So are there literally gems?
Yes. That's what it started as.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it was a gem thing for a long time. Then they added music to it.
We're playing it, so we're gonna.
And I know. What day do you play?
I think we play Saturday and Sunday. What day you on?
It's a good question. Let me just real quickly. February. I play Saturday.
Perfect. We'll hang out.
Yes.
Are you doing a straight DJ set?
I want to make sure I get to your set too, so I'll put that on my calendar.
Are you doing a DJ set?
Yeah, what kind of set are you doing?
I mean, I always play the piano when I DJ, but it's a DJ set. Yeah. So this is like so this is a jammier festival.
Yeah. It's like a hybrid festival. I feel like because these
are always my favorite to play to because like the Halloween's of the world, and like
Yeah.
there's at a DJ set, I find I get more musical fans,
Yeah.
but who aren't like hating me because they also are electronic fans. And I love playing these festivals versus the super snobby electronic fans or the extreme jam. I love this.
What's the difference between playing fest in America versus Europe?
Oh my God. Dude, everything.
I fucking love you, Leah. You're fucking awesome, dude.
I'm quite expressive.
Giobbi.
It is that I think as an American artist who like really looks up to and loves, like there's have you heard of Circo Loco?
No.
It's a party and it started in Ibiza at DC-10, but like they're kind of the gatekeepers for what is cool underground house music.
Yeah.
And being introduced to like that party blew my mind. But the US, I guess, I would say would be the opposite. Learning how to play in different countries has been like the hardest part of the last few years, most challenging, but like very exciting. Like, I mean, when I first went to Mexico, fucking bombed. When I first went to the UK, fucking bombed. When I first went to Ibiza, absolutely bombed. Like it was so intense to learn
interesting
how to read each dance floor and how to so for me, the challenge in the US is that I have some songs that have like done well on Spotify. So there are people who aren't dance fans, who are not, who don't understand DJ culture, who've heard me on Spotify. And so they came to see that song.
Right.
But I'm playing at 2 a.m. at a club, in between two underground artists. I am not going to play a song with a pop vocal on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Right.
And then they get pissed and I get, like angry DMs. Like I bought a ticket to that. I wait, so it's been really, are you a DJ? Are you an artist? And at festivals in the US, you can be an artist. Like it's people expect you to you have an hour set, which is usually hour to 2 hours, which is shorter than most DJ sets.
Yeah.
You can kind of just like bang it out. You can like play harder.
Yeah.
But the club, like when I went to Europe, really what I like even at festivals, you always research who's before you and who's after you. And it's not about you. It's about making the night flow well.
Right.
So like what time slot are you in? You should play to that time slot. If it's earlier, you should not go above 120 BPM. You should, you should be setting up the next artist so then they set the next artist. And like, it's a slow rise of, euphoria on the dance floor and learning how to play to all those slots and, bring in different samples from different countries. And I would say outside the US, that it's really about the journey. Right. It's really about
cultivating a night.
Yes, and they want to discover new music, and they want to not have their Shazams work, and they want to, it's really, they want to. It's kind of headier. It can be more psychedelic. It can be.
Interesting.
It feels like this, like more jam bandy crossover festivals also can be. You can go there a little bit more, but like the more mainstream US festivals are. Wow, they are so different.
Banger city.
Have you ever done Zaget in Budapest? That thing on the island?
I'm dying to play that one.
That looks amazing.
I had an offer for last year, but I couldn't do it. That one looks amazing.
Yeah.
So are you electronic fans?
Nah,
I am.
He is. I don't really listen too much of it, but we toured through Europe. Like our biggest fan base is like Germany, Netherlands, Switzerland.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's so rare, isn't it?
Yeah. And I write songs. I'm not really in a jam band, so like I'm a songwriter, so that's why it works out there. Because not a lot of jam bands fuck with.
They don't really like the jam bands.
Europeans don't fuck with jam bands.
They like real soloists.
In fact, when Goose played, when I played out there, I was like, well, so like, oh my God, I hope you're the first jam band to actually like do your, and it's like most of the people that went
are Americans. It was 3/4 Americans.
I was like, whoa, that's so, first of all, it's crazy to follow you out there, but second of all, wow.
Yeah.
So that's incredible.
Yeah, like we were playing in Europe the same time they were, and it was funny, like they had all American crowds, and our crowd was just all Germans, just fucking sweaty ass Southern Germans.
He's been going there for like 10 years.
Yeah, I've been touring Europe for 10 years.
Like you were bigger there before America, I feel for a minute.
Wait, so do you play differently there versus in the US?
Yeah, everything's they're like you nailed it on the head. Like they're curating a night, like when you do Lowlands or something, like they take it's special, and it's punk rock, like it's like mosh pits during our happy songs, and like I love European crowds because
I love Europe. Have you gone to South America?
No,
'Cause
I heard that's
oh.
insane. I heard that is fucking crazy, dude.
They can party.
I
Yeah.
I had to, like, after all this like health stuff came up, I was like, you know what? I haven't been to Asia, and I thought that like I wanted to conquer all the continents. You know what? Let's just focus on South America
Right.
and Europe, because Europe is like, I feel like I always get better after I'm over there, but
Right.
South America, those fans, I have never. I mean, they come early. They don't give a fuck who's opening. They're gonna be there. They're gonna show you the love.
Yeah.
They're gonna scream. They're gonna whistle. They're gonna hoot and holler.
Yeah.
Like, it is
It's the shit.
incredible.
I fucking love it.
It's the
love it.
opposite of
And they
playing in
love
New York
metal.
or LA.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like yeah.
What'd you say about metal?
They
No.
they love metal down there too, like metal music. on
Really?
top of- yeah.
Yeah.
It's really big down there. It's interesting.
Yeah, the cities. Why do we think we're so fucking cool for school that we can't just have fun? Yeah.
Oh
In
my god,
America.
playing in the major cities is like
Nashville's like,
I give me a B market all day long.
Yeah.
Give me Asheville.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Give me fucking Kansas
Yeah,
City. I'm just like,
God.
but I know this is gonna be magical, you know?
Damn.
And then when you go to
Re-
LA, especially, they're just like,
I know.
You're like,
Blue cities
Yeah,
and red
they're like-
states. Those
They're
are
like,
the best.
who is this bitch? You know.
blue cities are right. Yes, I
The
couldn't
blue
agree
cities and red
more.
states are the best
I
markets.
literally moved to Austin for that because it's
Yeah,
like they
exactly.
double down on being weird.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I mean, aren't you from Eugene too? So like, that's kind of like a hippy dippy town.
Yeah.
Dude, born and raised, man. I couldn't wait to get out of there, and now I'm just like, damn. It's one of my favorite. I mean, my dad always says there's no racial tension because they're all white people.
Yeah.
So that part is like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a bummer. But it is a beautiful, beautiful. I mean, the Pacific Northwest. I'll never forget. I was playing as a DJ. It seems like you chase the summer and beaches, and I actually fucking hate the beach, and I also don't like the summer. So I'm like playing. I'm standing on a beach. I'm playing another sunrise set somewhere in Mexico,
Right,
and
right.
there's an LED wall behind me, and I turn around and I see my visuals for a sunrise set are when me and my commander walked and did a sunrise hike, timing it in Eugene, Oregon. And so like that's what plays behind me.
Yeah.
And I turned around and I saw the trees and I started crying.
I
And
bet.
people were like, yeah, the music is so beautiful. And I was like, no. My body
I don't
is
wanna
being
be here.
called to the forest.
Yeah.
It is being called to like green, to the Pacific Northwest. Like that is all I ever want. I just want to be in the rain. I want to be like rehydrated and
Yeah.
refueled. And I miss it so much.
And your dopamine level.
She's trying to see Bigfoot.
And your dopamine level. Yeah, trying to see Bigfoot.
What I'm saying here is I'm retiring music and I'm gonna be Bigfoot.
Hell yeah. You're gonna find
So it must have
Bigfoot.
been
You heard it
nice.
first.
It must have been nice to headline the Oregon Fair then.
That was the well. So okay, so yes, but then immediately I got like when they called. I mean, this is so funny. My mother is so she works for KLCC in Eugene, Oregon, and they broadcast the main stage music. So I've been going to the fair since the womb. My mom has been going my parents have been going together since they were in their 20s.
Right.
They would just like take acid and sleep in a bush. And then when she started working for the NPR affiliate, and she like was the big pusher to like go out there and broadcast the music. And so I was a fair kid.
Uh-huh.
Would never miss it. And then as I got older, it doesn't matter where in the world I am. Like even one time I was in Ibiza and I flew in for one night. Just I'll never miss the fair. Okay, it's the most important thing on the planet to me.
Right.
And I'd submitted myself every single year since I was 18 to play the fair every year. And I was turned down every time. And my mom even got on the board to try to see if she could help me get on the fair. She's a mom. My mom is a doer and she is a
I
mama
fucking
bear.
love
Okay.
her, dude.
And she
God, your mom's
tracked
cool.
down the bookers and she, would send them, she would like see them at meetings or things around Eugene. And she was hunting them down. And they're like, this fucking crazy mom. Right. And then when they called, I got a phone call to see if I'd want to headline Saturday at the main stage. And I was literally on like a massive tour in Australia, okay? And they're like, essentially, there's no money, but if you want to play, and I was like, this is the best thing to ever happen to me. And I was, crying and sobbing, and but then I did immediately get freaked out. I was like, oh no, is this going to be the Jerry Garcia remix 2.0? Are people going to be fucking pissed that the elders are not
I
fans of
fucking
electronic
bet,
music?
dude.
But the booker was, and I said, and I called back and I was like, okay, this is my biggest dream come true, but also
My biggest nightmare.
I am terrified. And he was like, you know what? If the fair doesn't embrace the younger generation in electronic music, we will die.
Right.
And so,
True.
yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of hate, but like,
That was cool.
essentially,
They're honest
put on
about that.
Yeah.
Totally. And he's like, but be the bridge. Like we need that. And I was like, okay, I'm here for this. And so, what was I going to say?
How'd it go?
So this was going to say, just to wrap up the story about my mom. So my mom was in a meeting and one of the bookers was like, oh, Gail, we're so sorry. We can't book your daughter again this year. We booked an artist, LP Giobbi. And my mom was like, that is my daughter.
Bitch.
Listen.
She was just like me. She's like, I just felt when I was able to, and I was waiting for him to say, I was like, finish saying what you're going to say. And then I was able to be like, that is you could have had her 5 years ago,
Oh, what'd they
So
say?
funny.
Were they embarrassed?
They totally was like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, I've been sending you emails about LPGOB. You must have not ever opened any of them because you thought I was a crazy. I was like, Mom, you do come across a little bit of like
book my daughter.
Yeah.
Book my daughter.
You know they
now.
get other submissions too, right? It's not just this one.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so it was the best hour of my life.
Yeah.
Like the bar was set high for me. The bar was set really high. The sound was trash. They've never had a DJ before. There were no subs.
So it's for a band.
It was like it was my partner's running around like at the soundboard being like, please turn up the bass. Like it was hilarious. Right. I didn't give a fuck about any of that. Like I was just like this, like to stand there and look out and see the puppets that I grew up like worshiping, these like huge puppets they bring out at main stage, and I just was like, I can't believe I get to share this. I was actually straight up sobbing the entire time. Tears just rolling down my face nonstop. I saw my mom in the front row, and my little niece was the first time she had gotten to see me play because it was finally in all ages.
Cool.
And I just sobbing for an hour. It was remarkable.
Oh my God. Leah, your dreams are coming true, queen. Let's fucking go. I know we're already at over an hour.
And I guess, like, thank God though, because my agents had gotten an offer and they didn't even pass it on to me. They're like, what is this?
Oh, because they didn't even know.
I thank God somebody was able to get in touch with me because that was the most important thing I could have done. And my agents weren't even going to present it.
Like, this is enough money.
Yeah, no, it's like fucking Oregon Fair. My artist not, it's like
totally. They're like, this is offensive. I'm like, no, this is the greatest thing of our lives.
Out of the three things you've mentioned, getting the call from Garcia family, getting the Oregon call, or getting the Taylor Swift call,
or W Hotels,
That is so funny. I'm not funny.
Was W Hotel a call too?
Actually, W
was that you?
When I was at Another Planet, my only job out of college, I was reading a Billboard magazine, and I saw that they had like music curators and a global music director, and I just thought, oh my gosh, how fun would it be to just use brand money to like put together shows without the stress of as marketing expenses versus the stress of having to sell the tickets and so I immediately contacted the nearest W and I also wanted to learn how to DJ. So I thought, great, maybe I can DJ in their lobbies and like practice out in front of people and then work my way up to the global role. And like I put that on my dream board. They ended up canceling the global position, but once I figured out who was in charge of like the global leads of marketing and stuff, I reinvented the position for myself and they hired me this year. So that was a fun journey.
Leah,
I would say though, without a doubt,
you could be running Costco or something.
Without a doubt, that's really hard. That's a really hard. I mean, it would be between. The Taylor Swift thing.
That's pretty unbelievable.
She's pretty famous.
The Taylor Swift thing was a really fun experience, and because it's sort of like I remember like the first time I got my first billboard. It was like the first time my brother was like, "Oh, my brother who knows nothing about music, doesn't like music, is like a Midwest sports guy."
Hell yeah.
Was like, "Oh, like I'm gonna call my friends and tell them." It was like the first time it validated me to him.
I'm finally proud of you.
And like for the Taylor Swift, like he like saw her tweet my name, and like that's first of all, I'm like, you're following Taylor Swift, what? But that sort of validated me to like the greater community. But I think that what she's built is absolutely incredible. But I wasn't necessarily like a Swiftie.
Did you talk to her?
I think she's so talented, and I have a PR script I'm supposed to read. So
never mind.
We'll go over that.
Yeah,
we'll go over that later.
It was
a very
She's a
eye-opening
businesswoman.
experience.
I
It was an
bet it
eye-opening
was
experience going
I
through that
bet.
process.
Oh my god.
You have no idea.
I fucking bet,
Well,
dude.
we should let's be at the festival and we'll talk about it.
All right, cool. Thank
But
you.
I would probably say the Oregon Country Fair.
Yeah, hometown.
And I was offered Red Rocks like the week before, and I was like, and I was like, okay, cool. And that phone call,
Wow.
I was in Australia, and like I had gone online and applied, like done the little application process myself for the last 7 years. And so, and I thought when they first called, I was like, okay, so cool, at the Blue Moon stage at like 3 a.m. when nobody's there. Awesome.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, Saturday night headline. And I just fell out. I just was so confused actually at first.
Did they know you were
Hometown.
hometown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. The guy, they brought out a new
The
booker,
booker
and he
knew.
was like, if we don't bridge this gap, all the elders are going to die. And we're
Yeah.
going to have nobody at the fair.
Yeah.
So like
How
and he had
far
been
is
following.
it from Eugene? Like, how far is the actual fair
It's
from your
in
town?
Bonita. It's 20 minutes.
Yeah,
oh, it's
it's
like
right
right there. Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's right there. And
'Cause Oregon's
so, and
big.
also like tickets are kind of like gold. It's like, you can only get a ticket if you are contributing, if you're working on a staff. It's actually
Yeah.
really hard to get on a staffing team. You have to like be on a wait list for years. So I was able to bring friends out that had never been able to come
That's
and
so
show them
cool.
like, some
Damn,
of my
it's that
friends
hard,
from
huh?
LA
That's
and
crazy.
and that was so, to see it through their eyes for the first time, was so beautiful and so special. And yeah, it was just a magical weekend. My whole family came, and all of my dad's brothers came to the show to see it. And a lot of them are like these like right wing. I don't know. My dad is definitely different than the rest of them, but they
Yeah.
came to support and saw a lot of naked people, and it was awesome.
I fucking love it. Wow. All your
Have you
dreams.
guys been to the fair?
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't. I've never
I
been.
have.
No.
Yeah. I'm homies with that's like my crew, like the full crew. Steve Poltz, John Craigie, Rainbow Girls.
John Craigie?
That's like I have a man crush on him. Don't even
Yeah,
get me
he's so
started.
hot.
I would go gay for Craigie. I say
He's
it every
hot.
time.
Okay, me and my girlfriend, I've
God
been with my partner
damn.
forever, so this is not about me, okay? But me and my girlfriend, I brought her out one year, and we saw him perform, and literally spent the rest of the fair just like walking around hoping that she would run into him. That man,
He's so hot.
he is so beautiful. I mean, still to this day, we joke, we
Okay.
send each other jokes about John Craigie all the
Oh
time.
my god, he's gonna love this. Because he is really a sweet man, and I just think he's an amazing talent, and I'm just like, I crush on
I
him.
mean, he's getting
so
pretty
hard.
big himself. He's
He's
doing.
getting huge.
He did Ogden's
I mean,
Theater.
yeah, I think I just saw him at the fair, so I thought like, oh, maybe he's like a local musician, whatever. And then the next day we realized like, oh no, he's actually like he's
But he's
a
from
pretty
there.
big deal.
He's from Oregon,
and
though,
she like
right?
she ran into
LA.
him one
Oh.
other time and like offered him her yogurt, and like he was like, oh, I'm okay, and like it went horribly.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I always now make fun of her for like, remember that time that you offered John Craigie your yogurt?
Oh, I
my
can't
God.
wait.
And didn't-
I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna send this fucking clip to him immediately.
Another thing
Because,
about
like-
how he's hot.
He's just so hot, and he's so cool, and he's so sweet,
And he's funny.
and he's funny.
Which hot people usually aren't that
Don't tell
funny.
me that. I don't need to hear he's funny. It's too much.
I
You
know,
know what?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying
No,
to
he's funny,
I'm trying to
too.
lessen the crush.
He's also rich, and he has a multiple charities.
Yes.
And yeah.
I heard, he has his
Remember he
he
saved
has
all
his
those.
adrenaline taken care of, so he could help you with
Yeah.
that.
Remember he saved all those puppies from that house fire. That was weird.
Okay. Because he's also a fireman on
Yeah,
the side.
exactly. Volunteer
Yeah, for
firefighter.
sure.
Volunteer firefighter.
We gotta let this queen go. Leah, it's been a pleasure. You're the shit.
Y'all are amazing. I can't wait to see you.
Yeah, I
in a
can't
few
wait to see you.
weeks.
2 weeks. We'll go hang out at the Gem and Jam
Awesome.
Festival. My last question before I let you get back to, and you're taking care of yourself, right? You're getting better. You're feeling like you're charging up your battery. How's it going? Got to get there.
I'm working my ass off on it. I'm seeing all the nutritionists and specialists, and do I follow through with the nutrition? Like the eating part is like eliminating gluten from my diet and things like that is
How do you
feels
do
like
that?
it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. How do you do that
I've-
on a road?
So for 6 months they've been like, okay, no gluten.
Oh man,
I've gone one day.
Yeah. Fuck that.
you can't eat bread.
Can't do it. You can't. No.
So my nutritionist was like, if you go to Europe, have whatever you want, but in the U.S.,
Yeah, exactly.
don't eat gluten.
They have real food there.
I'm just like,
Yeah, they got
this
real
is
bread.
so fucked up.
Yeah.
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 Oh, we're fucked.
Our bread is-
I
are
appreciate you
really-
asking though. Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
working on it.
Good. So when it's all said and done, when the dust pass, what do you want to be remembered by?
Whoa, that was like, I just started crying right there. Wow. She is tapped into her feelings. my mom's face came to my mind, which was wild. But what I want to be remembered by is sharing joy and light.
Yeah. God damn it.
You-
Leah, you
Pretty
are
basic,
You have that
pretty
energy.
simple.
No,
I
that's
care a lot
fucking-
about family. I care about just and when I started to pursue music, I think I saw my mom's face, because when I started to pursue music, I was first studying at UC Berkeley, peace and studies conflict.
Mhm.
And I felt like in order to make a change in the world, like you had to, go into policy or be an activist or whatever. And I felt like pursuing music was a really selfish endeavor. And it was my mom who sat me down and was like, listen, for those of us who work normal jobs, which is most of us, going to the Grateful Dead shows, those moments got me through everything.
Right.
Those moments of happiness are what I, tapped into when I was at work, stressed out and whatever. And knowing that I would have another one of those moments is like what got me through some days. And that's where I fell in love with your father. And, that's where I really felt the most joy. And it is important work. And you have to take care of yourself to spread that joy. But like that, those are my best memories. And that's enough. So I really just, pursued music because I thought, okay, like if I can bring that to people, then, it's not that I'm an activist for changing the world, but like people, I think bringing joy and playing music is an important escape for people.
I love you so much. I don't even know you that well, and I fucking love the shit out of you. Leah,
You do. You guys really, I've never been asked that. And I really appreciate it. Thank you for asking things. Every question I feel so stupid. I can be like, great question, but I really meant that. Like it's so refreshing.
And what's
Artists
the one-
should only interview artists.
this is what I'm talking about.
I agree, actually.
Everyone else is fucking sterile as shit.
Yeah.
And also,
100%.
fuck the Grateful Dead fans for fucking putting you under a
Well,
corner,
only the-
okay?
only the haters.
I'll say it. Only the haters. The nice ones are nice.
Yeah.
But 3/4 of them, they're fucking mean.
I don't
and
think
I
it
don't
was
want
that
them
many.
to fucking disrespect my queen, okay? Thank you.
My guy.
And what's the one thing you want people to forget about you? I'm just kidding.
Then I remixed Jerry Garcia's first album.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. He asked me to do it from the grave.
Yeah. All right, Leah, go enjoy
Thank
your day.
you so much.
You're
Have
the
a great
best.
day. I'll see you guys
Yeah.
soon. Thank you.
Bye, bud. See you later. I love that.
Right.
I love that.